We don't want those small games. You still want to stay?
Okay, we are officially live. I'm ready to begin. Okay, are we ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Judge.
Okay. If everyone will please, each inmate will please raise their right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the information that you give to this court will be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge, as well as the information that you provided on your court-appointed form?
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Tamika West, and I'm a Magistrate Court Judge in Clayton County. This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We're not here today to try your case or to take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you choose to give up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if your case goes to trial. Doing this in all proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or accusations for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. You also have the right to testify and offer evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. At this point, if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, we will appoint an attorney to represent you. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of your case, which may be cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash, together with any applicable mandated fees, to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond amount as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Someone may post bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total bond amount. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going in or around certain places. This special condition will be provided on your bond order. You will also be prohibited from calling or contacting any alleged victims while you're in jail. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing witnesses, or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you if you contact any alleged victim while you're out on bond, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided with information of your bond amount after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for today. If a family member is a victim on the warrant and there's a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member or the alleged victim, he or she will not be allowed to post bond on your behalf. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is simply not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a Superior Court judge, and you will be informed of that date. If you're currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation, usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. Again, I would like to emphasize that the purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your rights to post bond, your rights to have an attorney represent you, or your right to have a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived, and you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time, if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled on your behalf. If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, the hearing will be scheduled for May 3rd, 2022 via Zoom at 8:30 a.m. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled either on May 2nd of 2022 or May 4th of 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. That concludes my opening remarks. At this time, I will take the first inmate. Are we doing the females first? Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're just going alphabetical, folks. Yeah, I got the names. Go ahead, folks. Yes. I'm a first stand in front of you.
Please state your full name for the record.
Emily Folds.
Ms. Folds, you've been charged with 4 offenses, specifically violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, one count of having an improper tag, 1 count of violation of the seatbelt law, and 1 count of possession of marijuana, less than an ounce. Your bond amounts for each offense are as follows: violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, $5,000. Improper display of tag, $500. Violation of seatbelt law, $500. And then possession of marijuana less than an ounce, $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that is your next hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
The information you provided on your court-appointed form appears you're unemployed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, based on your responses on your application, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel, so I will approve that request. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Hagan. Come on, man. You can go back to the cell.
I don't have to go.
Oh, you know, Ms. Hagan, come on. Come to the stand over here in front of the your full names.
Jamira Renaja
Please
Hagan.
say- I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Jamira Renaja Hagan.
And spell your name for me.
JAHMERA
And last name.
HAGA.
Okay. Ms. Hagan, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is a simple battery. Second offense is obstruction or hindering a law enforcement officer. Third offense is simple battery on a police officer. Your bond amount for each offense are as follows. Simple battery, $5,000. Obstruction or hindering a law enforcement officer, $5,000. Simple battery on a police officer, $5,000. Your total bond amount, therefore your total bond amount is $15,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
I said, do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you make bond?
No. No, ma'am.
If you can make bond, there will be certain conditions included in your, as a condition of your release. The first condition is you're to have no contact with an individual by the name of Michael Ferguson because he's the alleged victim in the case. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that that's your first hearing date? Yes? Okay. Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
No. Oh, yes, I did. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry.
You said you did complete one?
Yeah.
It looks like you refused to complete it. Do you recall that? I have refused notated on the application.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions now to see if you qualify?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. Okay, are you currently employed?
No.
Okay, can you give me, you say no, can you give me your current address?
I'm homeless currently.
Okay. And you say you currently don't have a job?
No, ma'am. Currently.
Okay. Okay, based on your responses, you would qualify for a court-appointed counsel. So I'm gonna go ahead and appoint a court-appointed attorney for you, okay? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you. And please state your full name for the record.
Jamaica Oglesby.
Spell your name for me, please.
DORMIKA.
And last name?
OGLESBY.
Okay. Ms. Oglesby, you've been charged with one count of theft by taking. Your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Wait, because I'm probably be in labor around that time.
Okay. So if you would like to waive, you'll need to get a waiver form from one of the deputies and sign it so they can return it to me. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you
I don't-
refuse as well. Do you not need a court-appointed attorney?
I'm gonna get one.
You gonna get your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Oldby.
How you say it?
Aisha.
Shabazz.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can you state your full name for me?
Aisha Shabazz.
I also have your last name. Is that also, or you're also known as Aisha McLean?
Yes, recently divorced.
Okay.
So,
Okay. You've been charged with 2 offenses. 1 count of battery, bond amount is $5,000, and 1 count of cruelty to children, first degree. Bond amount is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $10,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
yes, I do.
Can you make bond?
I can.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order as a condition of your release. The first condition is you're to have no contact with an individual by the name of Isaiah McLean, since he's the alleged victim in the case, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, by third person, home, workplace, or immediate family members of Mr. McLean. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you also cannot violate any laws while out on bond.
Okay.
Understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that that's your next hearing date?
I do.
Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
I did, but I refused. I was gonna get my own lawyer.
Okay, you're gonna hire your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No problem. Do you have any other questions?
I don't. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right.
That's concludes the females, Your Honor.
What about Kenesha Sims? Oh, that's a male. I'm sorry, male. Sorry. Okay. Actually, that's what the attorney of Fortes is here for. Okay. We can go ahead and move forward with the men.
Your Honor, do you want Mr. Sims to go first? This is him.
Yes, yes. Okay, state your full name for the record.
Yeah, Sims, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sims, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is cruelty to children. Cruelty to children cause excessive physical or mental pain in the first degree. That's considered a felony. And then the second offense is battery, physical contact. That's the second offense. Unfortunately, based on the fact that you're still on probation, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, but I'm not on probation no more.
Okay, according to the records that I reviewed, it appears that on May 31st of 2016, there was a charge for aggravated assault with a 10-year probation.
10-year probation.
The sentence date is May 31st of 2016.
All right, Your Honor.
I can only go on what records they provided me with, but you're represented by counsel here today.
Hey, Judge, I'm not aware of that. And we've been working through this case along with some other issues, and that's never come up as far as him being on probation.
Well, I can only tell you what I read in the criminal history. So therefore, I'm not authorized to set bail today.
Out of what county is that out of, Your Honor, if I may?
I don't have it. I just have the charge and the sentence date and then the charge.
Your Honor, is it something, would you mind resetting him until tomorrow, if that would work? And then that way, that would just give me an opportunity to look into that a little bit more in depth.
No, you can file a motion for reconsideration if you would like, if that information is inaccurate.
All right, I'll
Okay,
do that. Okay, I'll do that. All right, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bennett.
How you doing,
Okay,
Your
state
Honor?
your full name.
Stephen Badger.
Mr. Badger, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first charge is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. And then the second violation is open container of alcohol in violation of Georgia law. Based on your criminal history, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today as well. Therefore, there is a no bond. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great, we're on the same page here. Okay, I've set your preliminary hearing date for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30. Sir, I'm not finished.
Mr. Bennett.
I need to give you your preliminary hearing date, sir. Because that's the first opportunity for you to get before the judge. You understand that? So that's an important date. So your preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. And then I have your bond hearing scheduled for May 6th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand those 2 different hearing dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I didn't understand your response on your court-appointed application, sir. Do you currently have a job?
No. I just lost my job.
Okay. Okay, based on your employment status, sir, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Therefore, I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Brady. Yes, Brady.
Okay, state your full name for the record.
Delron Brave.
Okay, Mr. Brave, you've been charged with two offenses. The first offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. The bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is illegal dumping. The bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond amount, that's good news, I guess, $2,000. Okay, do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your, both of your offenses are misdemeanors. So I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
If I waive it, that means I gotta sit in here, right?
No.
So,
Well, if you can make bond, it's automatically waived.
okay, I'll make bond, yes.
So do you want to waive it?
That's a good, is that a good thing to do? I don't know, I'm not.
No, if you, so
I don't know.
listen, okay, if you're unsure, so remember what I told you, the purpose of the preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence to continue to keep you jailed. But if you already made bond, and there's no reason to have that hearing. You understand that? So
Okay,
if you know you're definitely gonna make bond, you can waive it. But
yes,
if you're uncertain, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, let's waive it. Let's waive it. I'm out of here. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, let me finish. I still have some additional information to give you.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you waive your, let's see here. So you waive your preliminary hearing. If you waive it, then I'll need for you to get a form from the deputy. Okay, a waiver. You need to sign it so they can return it to me. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
And based on your responses, you're currently unemployed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Your honor.
Okay, therefore you will qualify for a court-appointed counsel, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Can you give me that court date one more time, please, so I can write it down?
Well, you waived it, but so that your first, if you waive your preliminary hearing, then you'll get notice as to when your next court date is.
That's
If you
what
don't
I'm
waive it, it is May 3rd, 2022. But if you're
May-
waiving it, then we're gonna take it off the calendar. You understand that?
So it's not May 23rd no more?
May 3rd. I'm sorry, May 3rd.
That's what I'm trying to say, your honor. I moved from my residence, so I won't be able to know.
But
'Cause
sir,
I
if you're
don't-
waiving it, we're gonna take it off the calendar. If you're waiving your hearing, we're gonna take it off the calendar. And you'll get notice of when your next hearing date is. I don't have that date.
But where will I get the notice?
From the court.
Okay, okay.
Well, let me ask you this. You said you moved the address you put on your court appointed form. Is that correct?
That was my old address. That's why
Okay,
I was trying to explain
do
to
you
you.
have a new address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I can add it to the court appointed form. That way your attorney will be able to contact you to tell you about your next hearing date. You want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your new address?
330 Arrowhead Boulevard, apartment 5A, Jonesboro, Georgia, 33,
Wait, apartment 5A.
Jonesboro, Georgia. I think the zip code is 3302636.
I'm sorry, 330.
236. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, state your full name for the record.
Roland Burdette.
Okay, Mr. Burdette, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is driving on a suspended revoked license. The bond amount is $1,500. Second offense is following too closely. The bond amount is $500. The third offense is driving too fast. The bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
As a matter of fact, they already paid the bond already, but
Okay.
I have a FTA for Morrow, Georgia for driving without a license.
Okay.
I don't know when I've asked certain people, I was just wondering, do you know when they do court for Morrow, the city of Morrow?
But no, I have no idea. I'm only a judge in magistrate court, so I'm not certain about the procedures there. But if you can make bond, then your preliminary hearing will be automatically waived. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for March 3rd of 2022. So if you're unsure about your status, I guess on the failure to appear, I would leave it on the calendar instead of waiving it.
No,
The May 3rd date.
What I was saying is I paid my bond for this charge last night.
No, I understand that, but I'm not certain why they're still detaining you. So if you're uncertain whether or not you're gonna make bond, I would recommend that you leave your preliminary hearing on the calendar. You understand that?
I've already made bond on the charge.
No, but you're not out, sir. You're still detained.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You understand?
No.
So I just want to make sure it doesn't fall through the cracks.
All right.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna leave it on the calendar for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Okay? Also, did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, you are unemployed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Therefore, you will qualify for court-appointed counsel. I will approve your application. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Dixon.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Dixon. How are you doing?
Fine. How about yourself?
Pretty good. You've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is speeding, exceeding the maximum limits. Your bond amount is $2,500. The second offense is distracted driving charge. The bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the bond amount as well as your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
You said if I bond out, then I don't need to worry about.
Yes, automatically waive if you bond out.
All right, well, we can waive it.
You want to waive it?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll need to obtain a waiver form from one of the deputies and sign that so they can return it to me. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am. If I do need one, like paid attorney, if I feel like I need a paid attorney closer to the court date, I can swap.
You can hire your own attorney.
All right.
So based on your responses on your court-appointed application, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, you will have to hire your own attorney. Do you understand that? You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Edmondson.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Edmondson, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense, criminal trespass, your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is entering an automobile unlawfully. That's considered to be a felony. Your bond amount is $10,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $11,500. Do you understand your bond amount as well as your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am. Could you tell me how much my bond was again, ma'am?
Yes. So it's $1,500 for the criminal, I'm sorry, yeah, $1,500 for the criminal trespass, and then $10,000 for entering an automobile unlawfully. Therefore, the total bond amount is $11,500.
Thank you.
Based on your responses on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will go ahead and approve your application. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hughes.
Morning, y'all.
Good morning. Please state your full name.
Jonathan DeShante Hughes.
Mr. Hughes, you've been charged with 2 offenses to include sexual battery and child molestation. Unfortunately, based on your criminal history, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Therefore, there is a no bond. Do you understand the charge as well as the no bond?
No, ma'am. I turned myself in June 11th, 2021. Does this have anything to do?
Yes, exactly. Those charges. And I'm using my judicial discretion to deny you bond because you're charged with the same or similar offenses as you did on June 11th of 2021.
How was I charged? I've been incarcerated since then.
Well, your charges, according to my review of your history, you were on June 11, 2021, you were charged with aggravated sodomy, aggravated child molestation, and statutory rape as well as rape. So based on those charges, which means your criminal history, I'm not going to grant bond for you today.
Okay, so this will be my second time going through a first appearance, my second time going through preliminary.
These are new charges, sir. You understand that? I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that that's your next hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am, May 2nd.
Okay, and then your bond hearing is scheduled for May 6th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. So you got two different hearing dates, one for the preliminary hearing, and then the second one is your bond hearing. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am. When I turned myself in, with a paid attorney. I don't have that paid attorney anymore.
You say you have a paid attorney?
When I turned myself in last year, I had a paid attorney.
But do you have a paid attorney now,
I
sir?
don't have him anymore. I've
Okay.
been represented by Justin Jones.
But with respect to these charges, sir, do you need an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
So based on your response, since you're unemployed, I will approve your request for court-appointed counsel with respect to these charges. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Johnson.
Can I please state your full name for me?
Trayvon Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you've been charged with 5 offenses. The first offense, use or possession of drug-related items, the bond amount is $1,500. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, the bond amount is $1,500. The DUI charge, the bond amount is $5,000. Violation of Georgia seatbelt law, the bond amount is $500. Improper display of your tag, the bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $9,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You do have the option of waiving it since you're charged with all misdemeanors. Would you like to waive the preliminary hearing to keep it on the calendar?
You can waive it. And I want to ask something about that tag. If I went to the DMV and they didn't hand me one, is that my fault, really?
Well, sir, I can't speak to that, but that's information that you should give to your attorney, okay?
Okay.
So if you waive your preliminary hearing, you'll also need to get a form from the deputy to waive a waiver from the deputy for you to sign it so they can return it to me. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, you completed a request for court-appointed counsel. You said you're currently employed, but you don't know your monthly expenses. Can you give me an estimate?
Not really.
I need a range to consider you for, see if you qualify. You can give me a range.
Okay, what do you need a range of again?
Your income, your monthly expenses, I'm sorry, your monthly income, your wages, your monthly wages.
How much you make at the job?
I get paid weekly, so, and it goes upon my mouth. That's what I'm saying. It's not a real set number.
What
But
was the last
300.
What was the last
300 again. Something on 300
You make 300 a month or a week?
a week.
Okay. So is that about $1,200 a month?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, based on your income, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Therefore, I will approve your application. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Jones.
I believe Jones, we're gonna do him. That's the one that's the extradition. Right?
See Jones, let me see. Lofton.
Okay. Okay, state your full name, sir.
Demetrius Lawson.
Mr. Lofton, you've been charged with 5 offenses. The first offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The bond amount is $1,500. The third offense is open container of alcohol in violation of state law. The bond amount is $500. It's also violation of Georgia seatbelt law. The bond amount is $500. The last charge, the fifth charge, DUI, alcohol is safe, the bond amount is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $12,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question though.
Well, let me finish. Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your question?
Upon being pulled over, I haven't partaken in any drugs the entire day. I smoked the night after, and he gave me several tests repeatedly. And
Okay, so remember when I made my opening remarks, I said, did you have the right to remain silent? You remember that?
right,
Okay, and do you remember I said anything you say can be will be used against you when I here to try your case today?
right, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I would recommend that you give that information to your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I see you completed a request of court-appointed counsel. According to your application, you are employed, but you only make $450 a month.
Yes, ma'am. That's probably a wrong estimate, around like 600.
Okay.
Can I get that bond number one more time, please?
Yes, the total amount is $12,500.
All right.
And then your preliminary hearing has been scheduled for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
You understand that to be your next hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So based on your application, you would qualify for court-appointed counsel. So I will go ahead and appoint an attorney to represent you, sir. Do you have any other question?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
London. London.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. State your full name for the record for me.
Here's London.
Mr. Lundy, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first charge is possession of a firearm by a felon. The bond amount is $15,000. The second offense is battery. The bond amount is $6,000. And the third offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. The bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $22,500. Do you understand the bond amount as well as the charges?
Yes, I do.
Can you make bond?
I can, but I'm good.
You said you can, but you're good?
I'm trying to make one. I'm trying to make one.
Okay. So you're unsure?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you to have no contact with an individual by the name of Angela Lott because she's the alleged victim in the case. That means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, by third person from Ms. Lott's home, her workplace, and immediate family members of any witnesses. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Secondly, because the incident occurred at 628 Southside Commercial Parkway, Jonesboro, Georgia, you're not to return to those premises while you're out on bond.
Yes, ma'am.
And you also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand that as conditions of your release?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that that is your next hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your application, you stated that you were unemployed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your employment status, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve your request.
Okay,
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Good. How about you, sir?
Good.
Please state your full name for me.
Dario Jamal Nolan.
Mr. Nolan, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is family violence. Second offense, battery. The bond amount is $6,000. The second offense is cruelty to children. The bond amount is $5,000. And then your third offense, criminal trespass, the bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $13,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I'm unsure, Your Honor.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that that is your next hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am. What time did you say?
8:30? 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Also, if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included in the bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with an individual by the name of Monique Cobb, because she's the alleged victim in the case. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 1475 Green Willow Drive, Conley, Georgia, 30288, you're not to return to those premises while you're out on bail. You understand that, or bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
You completed a request for court-appointed counsel, correct?
Correct.
And based on your application, you indicated you were currently unemployed. Is that correct?
Correct.
So based on your your application, I will approve your request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Price. Mr. Price.
I'm sorry, deputies, I still have a Chavez Males. Is he unavailable or he bonded out?
Chavez?
Chavez, C-H-A-V-E-Z, and Males, M-E-L-L-S.
Oh, that's yeah, mail's right here. Okay, sit down, Mr. Price.
Yeah, we're taking an alphabetical order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to miss anyone.
I skipped him. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Mills, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is carrying a concealed weapon. The bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is theft by receiving stolen property. The bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd. Let's see, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that to be your next hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You say yes? Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
You keep.
Okay. You also completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct, or did you? I don't see. Did you complete a request? I don't see a form for you. You recall completing an application for court-appointed counsel, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on you're currently unemployed, is that correct, sir?
No, he said,
Okay, based upon your application, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Therefore, I will approve the request. Do you have any question? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Price.
Okay, state your full name for me.
Mr. Nelson Price.
Okay, Mr. Price, you've been charged with 1 offense of criminal trespass. Your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Oh, what you say?
You've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I do.
Can you make bond?
No, I want to say yes, I can. I know the charges, but I don't have no bond.
Okay, no problem. If you can make bond, there will be a special.
Relax, Mr. Price. Let her finish.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be a special condition included on your bond order as a condition of your release. You are not to return to the premises located at 5500 North Terminal Parkway, Parsville, Jackson Airport. Do you understand that?
I said I can't make bond.
Mr. Price, do you understand?
I
Yes or
have
no?
money.
I know, but if you can make bond, I don't want you to return to the airport. Otherwise, you'll be facing other charges. You understand that?
Can you let me see that my own bond? Can I sign my
Mr.
own
Price,
bond?
are you listening? It's a yes or
I'm
no
not talking to
question.
you though.
It's a yes or no question.
Sir, please be respectful.
What she's saying is that if you can make bond, even though you're saying you can't, if you can, she's saying you can't go back to the airport. That's all she's saying. Okay?
That's all I'm saying, sir. Okay, because apparently they've had problems with you in the past there. You understand that?
This trespass pass. Yes, I know.
Okay. Okay, and I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that that's your next hearing date?
May.
You understand that, yeah, May 3rd is your next hearing date, May 3rd.
How many months that is?
Well, today is April 6th. So can you do the math?
Huh?
That's next month.
Oh. And last time she was supposed to help me go to get a place so I can stay at, because I had my family moved out of the house. And I didn't move with them. So she
have to deal with that after this.
Okay, well, sir, I'm not involved in making housing arrangements.
I didn't say that.
Let me finish. I can only set bail for you. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I have approved your request for court-appointed counsel since it does appear you qualify. So you can relay all this information to your attorney. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, no, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Smith.
How you on it?
I'm sorry, did we do Price?
That was Price just now, ma'am.
Okay, yes, you're right, okay. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Nolan.
Yes,
Sorry.
we did Nolan. Yes, we did Nolan already, John.
Okay. I must have skipped his court appointed form. Okay.
So I think my staff is
Okay, sir. Sorry about the delay. Give me your full name, please.
Kennard Smith.
Mr. Smith, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is reckless conduct. The second offense is criminal damage in the 2nd degree. And then the third offense is battery. Based on your probation status, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today since you're currently on probation. Therefore, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 4th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond?
Yes, Your Honor. You said May the 4th.
May the 4th. That'll be your next hearing date. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. What time?
8:30 a.m. via Zoom. 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Okay, where do I go by about my probation? I just make a call?
Yeah, what I'm sorry, what was your question?
The question is, what do I go by my probation where I cannot consider it as making bond? Do I have to wait till a court date?
Yeah, you'll have to wait till your next court date.
So what is my next court date?
I just told you, sir, it's May 4th.
Okay.
May 4th, okay, at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
You understand that to be your next hearing date? Sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And based on your response, you're currently unemployed, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, therefore, I will approve your application for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. So about my probation, do I have a hold?
I'm sorry, your question about your probation? What was your question?
No, you don't.
Okay, thank you.
Vertiver.
State your full name for the record.
Javon Verderer.
Spell that for me.
Personalized.
Both.
JAYVON. And then VERDERBER.
You said is it J?
Yeah, Javon.
Okay. Okay, I thought we were taking an alphabetical order. Let's see. I have an Utley. Deputies, I have an Utley.
Utley
Oh,
bonded
they
out.
OTB. OTB. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, so you've been charged with one offense of criminal trespass, damage to property. Your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on the bond or as a condition of your release. The first condition is you're to have no contact with an individual by the name of Latasha Vanderveer.
Same last name.
Yeah, that means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by third person, from her home, her workplace, immediate family members, of any witnesses. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 3888 Augustine Place, Clayton County, Georgia, you're not to return to those premises while you're out on bond. You understand that? Also, and let me ask you, is that your primary residence?
Yes, it is.
Okay, if that's your primary residence, I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office to retrieve any undisputed personal property if you can make bond, okay?
I appreciate it.
And you'll have to do that within 10 days of your release. You understand that? Also, you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Because it is a misdemeanor, you do have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Would you like to waive it or keep it on the court's calendar?
If I keep it on the court's calendar, but I make bond, it just waives itself, right?
Exactly.
So I'll keep it on the calendar for now.
Okay, no problem. Also, you completed a request for court-appointed counsel, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you didn't respond when it asked, do you have a job? Do you have a job?
No, I'm unemployed.
Okay, based on your response, you would qualify for court-appointed counsel, so I will approve your application.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Walters.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Your full name, please?
Ricardo Walters.
Okay, Mr. Walters, you've been charged with 7 charges. Okay, the first offense is family violence battery. The bond amount is $6,000. The second offense is aggravated assault by strangulation. The bond amount is $20,000. The third offense is you have another count of family violence battery. The bond amount is $6,000. You have another charge for cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The bond amount is $3,000. You have a second count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The bond amount is $3,000. And then you also have a third count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, but it's considered a felony, and that's $5,000. And then the last charge is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The bond amount is $20,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $63,000. Do you understand the bond amounts as well as your charges?
Yes, I do.
Can you make bond?
I'm gonna try.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 4th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that that is your next hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am. 8:30 you said?
8:30 via Zoom.
If I do say make bond today, would I be able to leave the state of Georgia?
That's something you have to speak to your attorney about, sir.
Okay.
You understand that?
I just started school, but it's in Alabama. I was gonna go there for 2 weeks. But I should be able to be finished and come back before my next court date if I do bond out today.
Okay. Now you do qualify for, well, you completed a court appointed counsel form, but you did not respond when it asked, do you have a job? Do you have a job?
No, I don't. Not right now.
Okay. So I will approve your request for court appointed counsel. So make sure if you can make bond, make sure you let your attorney know your whereabouts, sir. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
How you doing, y'all?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
State your full name for me.
Quentin Williams.
Mr. Williams, you've been charged with 5 offenses. The first offense is failure to yield or stop in violation of Georgia law. The bond amount is $1,000. The second offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The bond amount is $5,000. You have another count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The bond amount is $10,000. The fourth charge is use or possession of drug-related items. The bond amount is $1,000. And then possession of a firearm during a crime, the bond amount is $10,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $27,000. Do you understand the bond amounts as well as your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Say yes?
Yes.
Okay. If you can make bond, you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 4th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that that's your next hearing date?
You say what? May 4th?
May 4th at 8:30 a.m. That's your next hearing date.
Okay.
Your next court date. May 4th. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You also completed a request for court appointed counsel. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So based upon your responses, you do not qualify for court appointed counsel, so you'll have to retain your own attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes, we're ready for the extradition hearings, correct?
That's correct. Which one you want to do first? You want to do?
Let's do the one that requires an interpreter so we don't keep holding.
Morning.
Okay, if the interpreter can please state her full name for the record.
Deyanira Bermudez. Good morning, Your
Okay, if
Honor.
you will raise your right hand so I can swear you in. You swear and affirm that the information that you translate today will be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, if you will have him state his full name for the record.
Por favor, diga su nombre completo para que conste en el acta.
Buenos días, mi nombre es José Vélez Saca.
Repita.
José Vélez Saca.
Good morning, my name is José Velesaca.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
I am Judge Tamika West.
Yo soy la jueza Tamika West.
This hearing is what is called an extradition hearing.
Esta audiencia es lo que se llama una audiencia de extradición.
All of the rights that I have advised everyone of early also apply in your case.
Todos los derechos que yo le nombré a las personas anteriormente también les aplican a su caso.
But your hearing is a little bit different from the other first appearance hearings that have taken place today.
Pero su audiencia es un poquito diferente a la audiencia de primera instancia o la audiencia de primera vista que tuvimos anteriormente.
First, you do not have charges pending against you here in Clayton County, Georgia.
Primero que nada, usted no tiene cargos pendientes acá en el condado de Clayton, en el estado de Georgia.
You have been brought to court today because you have charges pending against you in another state.
A usted lo han traído a la corte en el día de hoy porque usted tiene cargos pendientes en otro estado.
Specifically the state of New York.
Específicamente en el estado de Nueva York.
And they're requesting that you return to the state of New York to answer your charges.
Y ellos están pidiendo que usted regrese al estado de Nueva York para que responda por estos cargos.
Okay.
Yes.
You have been charged with, according to the warrant, you've been charged with entering and remaining in the state of Georgia, knowing that you are wanted in the state of New York for a DUI charge.
A usted se le acusa específicamente de que usted entró y se quedó en el estado de Georgia, sabiendo que usted era buscado por el estado de Nueva York porque tiene un cargo pendiente de manejar en estado de embriaguez.
La verdad yo no sabía, yo hablé con mi oficial de probatoria, yo le informé todo de lo que iba a salir del estado.
The truth is that I didn't know. I talked to probation and I told them that I was going to get out of the state.
No de state, del country, del país. Iba yo a salir del país porque yo le informé todo.
That I was going to leave not the state, but that I was going to leave the country. And I let them know. I told them everything.
Okay, do you have an attorney representing you on your DUI charge?
Okay, ¿tiene usted un abogado que lo representa en el cargo de manejar embriagado?
Sí, en el estado de Nueva York, sí.
Yes, in the state of New York, yes.
Okay, he'll need to speak with his attorney about the pending charge.
O sea que usted necesita hablar con su abogado con relación a este cargo pendiente.
Sí, pero no tengo los datos aquí del abogado, los tengo todo en Nueva York.
Yes, but I don't have all the information of my attorney here. All that information is in New York.
Okay, well, that's the purpose of the hearing today, to give him his rights.
Okay, ese es el propósito de la audiencia del día de hoy, otorgarle sus derechos.
Okay, specifically, you are charged with being a fugitive from justice as follows.
Simplemente a usted se le acusa de ser un fugitivo de la justicia según lo que sigue.
This hearing is being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13.
Esta audiencia está siendo realizada de acuerdo a la ley de Georgia, título 17, capítulo 13.
As you have heard, it is alleged that you are charged with an outstanding warrant for a DUI in the state of New York.
Como ya usted ha escuchado, se alega que usted tiene una orden de arresto pendiente por un cargo de manejar embriagado en el estado de Nueva York.
You have a choice as to whether you wish to contest extradition or waive extradition.
Usted tiene la opción, ya sea de aceptar, regresar al proceso o de aceptar el proceso de extradición y regresar a Nueva York, o desafiar el proceso de extradición.
No, yo quiero regresar a New York.
No, I just want to go back to New York.
If you waive extradition, you will be returned to the other state without going through the former extradition process. Does he understand?
Entiende usted que si usted renuncia al proceso de extradición, usted sería regresado a ese estado sin tener que pasar por el proceso de extradición.
Y no sé yo de esto, ¿en qué me beneficia en negarme a la extradición o no sé cómo es esto?
I don't know anything about this. So what will be the benefit of contesting extradition?
If he wishes to contest extradition, the court may commit you to the county jail for an initial period of 30 days.
Si usted decide pelear el proceso de extradición, la corte lo podría enviar o dejarlo en la cárcel por los próximos 30 días.
During that time, a warrant will be prepared for the state of Georgia's governor's signature for your extradition to the other state.
Y durante ese tiempo, una orden de extradición sería preparada y firmada por el gobernador del estado de Georgia y enviada al otro estado.
As you're wanted by another jurisdiction, I'm not setting bond for you at this time.
Por el hecho de que usted está siendo buscado por otra jurisdicción, yo no le voy a fijar una fianza en estos momentos.
If you do not wish to voluntarily return to the state of New York, you may file a writ of habeas corpus to contest the extradition.
Si usted no quiere regresar al estado de Nueva York de manera voluntaria, usted puede someter una petición de habeas corpus para desafiar el proceso de extradición.
El proceso de extradición en que, por ejemplo, yo no quiero, como digo, yo ya tenía todas mis cosas, yo ya estaba saliendo yo del país. Yo, como le digo, yo ya no quiero estar aquí en el país. Yo hablé con mi oficial de migración también y me dijo que podía yo salir del país.
But the thing is that I don't want to be in this country anymore. I already had the paperwork ready, and I spoke with the immigration officer, and he told me that I could leave the country.
Okay, he has two choices. He can either remain in Clayton County Jail. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge. Usted tiene dos opciones. Usted puede permanecer en la cárcel del condado de Clayton.
Or he can voluntarily agree to return back to the state of New York.
O usted puede estar de acuerdo o regresar de manera voluntaria al estado de Nueva York.
Quiero volver al estado de Nueva York.
I would like to go back to New York State.
Okay. But I want to make sure you understand his rights. He does have the right to file what they call a writ of habeas corpus to contest extradition on the following grounds.
Yo me quiero asegurar que usted entiende sus derechos. Usted tiene el derecho de someter una petición de habeas corpus para desafiar el proceso de extradición siguiendo las reglas siguientes.
The first ground is whether the extradition documents are in order on their face.
Lo primero es si los documentos de extradición están en el orden correspondiente.
Secondly, whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the demanding state of New York.
Segundo, si a usted se le acusa de un delito que realmente existe en el estado de Nueva York.
Thirdly, whether you are the person that is named in the request for extradition.
Y tercero, si usted es la persona nombrada en la petición de extradición.
And fourth, whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice.
Y cuarto, si usted es en realidad un fugitivo de la justicia.
He cannot contest the issue of his guilt or innocence in the state of Georgia.
Usted no puede desafiar el hecho de si usted es culpable o inocente en el estado de Georgia.
He is entitled to the advice of counsel in contesting extradition or in deciding whether to waive extradition.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener el consejo de un abogado, ya sea para estar de acuerdo con que lo extraditen o para desafiar el proceso de extradición.
If the state is unable to extradite you within 30 days, you may be committed to the county jail for an additional 60 days awaiting extradition.
Si el estado no puede extraditarlo en los próximos 30 días, puede ser que usted tenga que permanecer encarcelado por los próximos 60 días esperando su extradición.
If the extradition is not completed in 60 days, then you will be released.
Y si el proceso de extradición no ha sido completado en los próximos 60 días, entonces usted lo pondrían en libertad.
If he decides to voluntarily waive extradition and return to the state of New York, then the state of New York will have 60 days to travel here to transport him back to the state of New York.
Si usted decide regresar voluntariamente al estado de Nueva York y está de acuerdo con ser extraditado, el estado de Nueva York tendría 60 días para venir a buscarlo.
If they do not come to transport him back to the state of New York within 60 days, for a period not to exceed 60 days, then he will be released.
Y si ellos no vinieran a buscarlo para transportarlo al estado de Nueva York en los próximos 60 días, entonces ya después de esos 60 días a usted sería puesto en libertad.
Does he understand his rights as I've just explained them to him?
¿Entiende usted sus derechos como se los acabo de explicar?
Sí, los entiendo, pero oiga, no hay una manera que me extraditen lo más rápido posible para allá, porque...
Yes, I do understand. Is there a way that I can be extradited as soon as possible?
Yes, he would have to waive extradition. So if he wished to waive extradition, he will need to involuntary return to the state of New York. Then he will need to sign the waiver forms from the deputy.
Sí, usted tendría que renunciar al proceso de extradición. Y si usted quiere renunciar al proceso de extradición y regresar de manera voluntaria al estado de Nueva York, usted tendría que firmar los formularios y entregárselos al alguacil.
Sí.
Yes.
Does he have any additional questions?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta adicional?
No, yo solo quiero volver a Nueva York y arreglar los problemas y salir del país.
No, I just want to go back to New York State, solve the issues there and leave the country.
Okay, well, he's remanded to the custody of Clayton County Sheriff at this time until they, to the state of New York, transport him back there.
Okay, entonces usted va a permanecer bajo la custodia del condado de Clayton hasta que el estado de Nueva York venga a buscarlo y se lo lleve.
Okay, and please make sure you understand he has to say the waiver forms for us to expedite the extradition.
Okay, señor, asegúrese de firmar los documentos que el alguacil le va a entregar para que esto acelere su proceso de extradición.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Okay. Well, I don't believe we need an interpreter for the last inmate, so you're welcome to log off.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jones, if you can give me your full name for the record.
Wayne Conrad Jones.
Okay, I'm not certain if you overheard my opening remarks regarding your extradition hearing with respect to the other inmate, but I'm going to go ahead and repeat it just so I can make sure you understand your rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, my name is Judge Tamika West, and I'm a magistrate court judge in Clayton County. This hearing is what is called your extradition hearing. All rights that I have advised everyone of earlier also apply in your case, but your hearing is just a little bit different from the other first appearance hearings that have taken place today. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You do not have charges pending against you here in Clayton County, Georgia. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have been brought here today because you have charges pending against you in the state of Missouri. According to the warrant that we have received, you have been charged with being a fugitive from justice, where you entered and remained in the state of Georgia, knowing that you was wanted in St. Louis County, Clayton, Missouri, for a charge of robbery in the first degree. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in fact Dwayne Conrad Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
You already have an attorney representing you on the robbery charge that's pending out of Missouri?
No.
Okay. Sir, you're being charged with a fugitive from justice as follows. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13, under Georgia law. As you've heard, it is alleged that you are charged with an outstanding will remain in the state of Georgia while you were wanted in the state of Missouri. You have a choice as to whether or not you wish to contest the extradition or waive extradition and be returned to the other state, which means the state of Missouri, without going through the formal extradition process. If you decide that you wish to contest the extradition, the court may commit you or continue to detain you in the county jail for an initial period of 30 days. During that time, a warrant will be prepared under the governor's signature for your extradition to the other state. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that the court is not setting bail for you at this time since you are a fugitive from justice?
I already paid. You talking for here, in Clayton County?
Yes, for here.
I already paid bail here.
No, no, I'm not setting bond for you. So there's no bond because you're a fugitive from justice. So I don't know what you paid, but there's a no bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you do wish to voluntarily return to the state of Missouri, you may file, if you do not wish to voluntarily return to the state of Missouri, you may file a writ of habeas corpus to contest the extradition. You can contest the extradition on 4 grounds. The first ground is whether the extradition documents are in order on their face. The second is whether you're charged with a crime that actually exists in the state of Missouri. Third is whether you are the person in fact named in the warrant, including the request for the extradition. And lastly, whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. Do you understand the grounds upon which you can contest extradition, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, you cannot contest the issue of your guilt or innocence in the state of Georgia. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You are entitled to the advice of counsel in contesting extradition or in deciding whether to waive extradition. If the state is unable to extradite you within 30 days, you may be committed to the county jail for an additional 60 days while awaiting extradition. If the extradition process is not completed in 90 days, then you will be released. Do you understand that?
So it's 90 days?
90 days if you contest extradition. You understand that?
Gotcha.
If you decide to voluntarily waive extradition and return to the state of Missouri, the state of Missouri will have 60 days to travel here to transfer you back to the state of Missouri. If they do not come to transfer you back to the state of Missouri for a period not to exceed 60 days, then you will be released. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about your rights as I've just explained them to you today?
No, Your Honor.
Do you wish to contest the extradition or waive extradition and voluntarily return to the state of Missouri to answer the charges against you?
Voluntarily return, waive.
Okay, if you decide to waive, then you will need to obtain copies of the waiver from the sheriff deputies, and then you'll need to sign each copy and return to me. Do you understand that? They'll return it to me once you sign it. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any additional questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you remain to the custody of the sheriff of Clayton County at this time. And thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's gonna be everybody on the calendar for the day.
Great. So we have 2, if you could get me back the waivers for the preliminary hearing and then the extradition forms within the hour, I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. So we have 2 extradition waivers and 4 preliminary waivers, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
I just have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
For Badger, for his no bond denied, was that for probation?
Let me look at my notes here. Oh, let me first